I want to address this just a little bit today because I think that it's a really important topic, and that is that people will utilize these terms, like dismissive avoidant, fearful, anxious attachment, narcissist. There's a lot of labels that are out there, and people that have symptoms that match some of these labels that are out there, there is often different types of behavior that we can't discount the amount of impact and sometimes outright pain that those behaviors have created, because people, whether they know or they don't know, they're crossing what we call secure attachment, boundaries, like what is normal for a healthy relationship. And it does create a lot of chaos. And again, we can't discount that. But we come back to the label. I'm always reminded of Winston Churchill, and he had this ongoing depression, and he described it as the big black dog that was always there. And we have the Diagnostic Statistics Manual 5, and which a lot of us practitioners, we call the doorstop manual. And there's a difference between clinically defining something and working with processing with an actual client in different ways also. The problem with labels is that it's like a big chain that people put around their neck, and it becomes an identity that they resonate with so much that they allow the label to tell them who they are, as opposed to the reality, which is we're all living, breathing, moving, shifting human beings. And honestly, there's not much that has been conditioned one way that can't be conditioned another way, unless we're talking about, the little kids that are raised with wolves or something like that, where there's very specific things that happen to the brain during certain times. But in the same way, even things that are trained between 2 and 7, when there's a dominant, theta brainwave, are things that we can still either work with in some form of somatic process to get a trauma arousal cycle to actually complete and return the defense mechanism that came with that. Or there are very proactive things that we can do where we can retrain our nervous system to build kind of new neural cow paths to where we don't keep staying in the same homeostasis, the same looping pattern over and over and over again.